All right, we're underway with 6 TRX exercises for neck and shoulder pain. All right, so we're going to start off with the shoulder press. As the name indicates, it's a great exercise for strengthening your shoulders. Now, you can do a shoulder press with weights. You probably have seen a lot of people do it. You might have even done it yourself. The difference between this and weights, or using a TRX and weights, is that it also improves your shoulder range of motion. Now, you use a weight, it's pretty much once you get fatigued, you just can't push the weight up anymore. So you essentially fail the exercise and you can't get that range of motion that you would with this TRX. You know, you can easily step forward if you want to work your range of motion. You can step back, and that works the strength of the shoulder. This is a pretty multifaceted exercise. In particular, this works your traps, rhomboids, and delts. These are the main movers and stabilizers of your shoulder. Now, the thing I did mention, you can step forward or back. The one thing you want to be careful of is that it gets exponentially harder as you step closer or further back towards the anchor point. So you want to start in an almost upright position and work your way back. Now, up next, we're going to be doing what's called the T-Rex row. Now, that's not to be confused with TRX rows. You see, as I put in there earlier on, it said TR and I had a capital X just to kind of emphasize that it's a TRX movement. But as you can see here, my elbows are on my rib cage and I'm moving my hands outward away from my body, externally rotating the shoulder. So I'm keeping my elbows in my rib cage and moving my hands out, which makes my arms a little shorter. So hence the name T-Rex rows. Now this exercise works your delts, traps, infraspinatus, and lats. Now, you may not be familiar with the infraspinatus, but this works as a shoulder stabilizer and helps the shoulder move out and away from the body. If you play any racket sports, like quite a few of my clients, a lot of them play tennis as well as play hockey. You want to incorporate this exercise into your routine because it helps to strengthen that muscle. Now, up next is one that you're probably relatively familiar with. It's called a Pec Fly. You know, you can use a machine for this. You can do it with dumbbells. Again, I like this exercise because if you get to a point where you're starting to fatigue, you can always just step forward and you can continue with your range of motion. Now, this works the pecs as well as the biceps. The plus side of using a TRX, as I said before, is that it also incorporates the abs. You know, so not only can you fight fatigue by still completing the exercise by simply stepping forward, but you also get a good core workout. So it works the abs, as I said, and then to some extent the lower back. This is probably more of an aesthetic exercise, but to be honest with you, it does help prevent strain on the front of the neck. So if you have a stronger pec and a stronger stability in the shoulders, you have a lot less pain in the front of your neck. You sitting here, you see, we're working the range of motion here. So up next, we're going to be transitioning into a lower body exercise for a moment, and we're going to be doing what's called an overhead squat. Now, these are tough for a lot of my clients, a lot of people in general, because most people, you know, if you work at an office, you know, you sit down at a computer and you're typing away all day, you're going to be probably succumbing to what's called forward shoulder posture. What essentially that means your shoulders are going to rotate forward. Now, what that has to do with this exercise is that when you bring your arms up and you try to squat, it puts a lot of strain or puts a lot of emphasis on the cervical spine, and that's essentially what keeps your shoulders back. So if you're squatting down with your arms over your head, the tendency for a lot of people is to have their arms come forward. So it really works. This exercise really works the surrounding muscles of the cervical spine. It also, of course, works the glutes and quads. Now, this exercise gets a lot of bang for the buck. So if you're looking for more shoulder stability as well as hip strength, this is definitely an exercise you're going to want to add to your repertoire. All right. So up next, we work the external rotators, and now we are going to work the internal rotators with what I call a W press. Now you're really going to put up wins with this movement. I'm sorry for the pun, but it's a great rotator cuff exercise. There's not a lot of exercises that you can do that work the rotator cuff, but this is it. Now this works the delts, lats, and pecs. Those are pretty much part of the rotator cuff. Not so much the pecs, but there are some other muscles, the teres major and the subscapularis. These are also muscles that are used in this exercise. These are two major shoulder stabilizers that help to move your shoulder blade as you move your shoulder internally. So as you move your hand toward your body or bring your elbows in towards your body, this is going to help you with that. So again, if you play racket sports, this is going to be a great exercise for you. If you do anything where you have to rotate as you hit a ball with your arm or with a racket or any kind of apparatus, you're going to want this exercise. All right. So So we're heading into the home stretch. It's last but not least, we have the I love you
230
stretch. I love this
seconds
stretch.
left.
This is one of those stretches that it looks funny, but it's a great exercise. I mean, it feels wonderful. I mean, look, you're literally hugging yourself here. Now, this works in your entire upper back and that part of the neck that I mentioned earlier, the levator scapulae. This actually helps to raise your shoulder blades up. You see, many folks tend to hold their tension in their upper
It's
shoulders,
30
so this is a
seconds.
great way to stretch it out. All right, so we'll wrap it up here. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really do hope this helps you become more proficient in your TRX usage. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. We really appreciate your feedback. And remember to click the subscribe button to be notified when we release